I now have the distinct pleasure of introducing our commencement speaker, Walter A. Dods, Jr., who was awarded an honorary doctorate this morning and now can be called Dr. Dods, as it happens. He is a retired banker and philanthropist who is best known for his 36-year tenure at Hawaiian Bank, where he rose from an entry-level role to become chairman and CEO. Under his leadership, the bank's holding company, BancWest Corporation, expanded its reach across the western United States with assets exceeding $38 billion by the time of his retirement in 2004. Following his banking career, he led major Hawaiian enterprises, serving as chairman of Hawaiian Telcom, Alexander and Baldwin and Matson, Inc. Born in Honolulu in 1941, Walter grew up in a working-class family in Kuliʻouʻou Valley. Did I say that right, Walter? Okay. And Aina, Haina. The son of a police officer and a cashier, he was raised with a deep appreciation for family unity and hard work. He graduated from St. Louis School in 1959 and later attended night classes at the University of Hawai at Mānoa while working full-time, earning his bachelor's degree in business administration in 1967. Walter's professional success has been matched by a lifelong commitment to the Hawaiian community. A dedicated alumnus and former president of the UH Foundation Board of Trustees, he has spearheaded numerous fundraising initiatives, including the 1998 UH Campaign for Hawaii, which raised $116 million for this university. In 2023, he made a momentous $5 million gift to the university's new residence for innovative student entrepreneurs, or the RISE Center, which was subsequently renamed the Walter Dods Jr. RISE Center in his honor. Beyond the university, his philanthropy has touched organizations like the Hawaii Community Foundation and Blood Bank Hawaii, and he established an endowed scholarship with his late wife, Diane, to support immigrant students. Today, he continues his service as the campaign chair for UH for Hawaii's $1 billion fundraising effort, ensuring a bright future for the next generation of local leaders. It gives me great pleasure to ask you to join me in welcoming Dr. Walter A. Dods, Jr.
Aloha. My friends who drag raced with me in 1959 would never ever believe that I'm standing here today as a doctor. The freeway that we come to the university on was just being built in the 50s when I used to drag race at night. Remember now, my dad was a cop, and I drag race at night, and when the cops would chase us, we'd get off by Kapiolani Hospital, sneak around, and we'd hide in the back campus of UH until they stopped looking for us, and then we'd go back on the freeway and start drag racing again. So it's pretty unlikely that you'd find me speaking here today. But I have a couple of quick memories of university, and then I'll get into my message. One is about 55 years or so ago, Dr. From the medical school came and asked me if I would be part of a founding group that came up with Imi Ho'ola. Those who are in the medical school know today about that program. Some 700 minority Hawaiian Pacific Islanders went through this one-year program to get ready for medical school. Of that 700 group, 400 became doctors through the university medical program. That all started back a little over 50 years ago, and I was so proud to have a small role in that. Going 50 years later, I was able to be involved with a little bit with the new RISE Center and Entrepreneur Center. So from doctors to entrepreneurs, I've seen a lot of the school that I used to hide my hot rod on. But anyway, aloha again. So I'd like to acknowledge Wendy for her really nice introduction. Interim Provost Basilis Sermos, members of the Board of Regents, especially my good friend Gabe Lee, and faculty, staff, honored guests, proud families and friends, and most importantly, the class of 2026. The crowd today and the crowd this morning were bigger than the volleyball championships that I were here today, so a great tribute to all of you. Today is a day you will remember for the rest of your lives, not only because of the ceremony, the caps and gowns, or the photos you will take, but because today marks a transition. One chapter closes and another begins. For years, your life has followed a structure: semesters, deadlines, exams, expectations. You knew what success looked like. Pass the class, earn the credits, and move on. Now today, the structure changes. You are entering a world moving faster than any generation before you has experienced. When many of us entered the workforce, change happened gradually. Industries evolved over years or decades. You could expect that what you learned early in your career would serve you for a long time. That is no longer the world you are entering. Today, industries are being reshaped in just a few years. Technologies emerge and disrupt before we fully understand them. Jobs that did not exist recently are now thriving careers, while others considered secure are disappearing. You are graduating into a world defined by acceleration. Artificial intelligence, automation, climate challenges, and global interconnection are already shaping your opportunities and responsibilities. And with that speed comes uncertainty. Many of you will change careers several times. Some of you will create roles that do not even exist today. The traditional path, education, career, promotion, retirement, is becoming less predictable. Now, that may sound unsettling, but I want to offer you another way to think about it. Uncertainty is not only a challenge, it is also an invitation to remain curious, to adapt, to keep learning throughout your life, because while the world changes rapidly, some things remain constant. The qualities that define meaningful leadership, trusted relationships, and fulfilling lives have not changed nearly as much as technology has. Today, I want to share just 4 of those qualities with you: integrity, adaptability, being pono, and purpose. First, integrity. In times of uncertainty, trust becomes even more valuable. When systems change and expectations shift, people look for individuals they can rely on, people whose words mean something. Early in my career, I had the privilege of working on the gubernatorial campaign of George Ariyoshi, who just passed away recently at 100. Over time, we developed such a strong working relationship that he never once asked me to change a single word of an advertisement I created for him. Think about that. In politics, when messaging is everything, that level of trust is rare. We had a phrase during that campaign: the issue is integrity, and the answer is Ariyoshi. But over time, I realized something important. Integrity is not something you claim, it's something you earn, decision by decision, moment by moment. And once lost, the impact will last a lifetime. As you begin your careers, remember this: your reputation is one of the most valuable things you will ever build. Skills evolve, industries change, technology advances. But if people trust you and they know you're honest, dependable, and principled, that trust will open doors no resume alone ever could. Integrity compounds over time. Every decision either strengthens it or weakens it. Eventually, people stop evaluating you only on your work. They start beginning to trust your judgment. In a fast-changing world, that trust becomes a tremendous advantage. Second, adaptability. If there's one skill that will define success in the years ahead, it is the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Your degree today is not the end of your education. It is proof that you know how to learn. There was a time when expertise meant mastering one field and remaining in it for an entire career. Today, expertise often means something totally different. It means being flexible enough to move across disciplines, connect ideas, and respond when circumstances change. I have seen organizations succeed, not because they had all the answers, but because they were willing to adapt when new information emerged. And I have seen talented people struggle because they held too tightly to what worked in the past. The world you are entering rewards flexibility. So be willing to pivot, be willing to admit when you are wrong, be willing to start again. That is not failure, that is growth. The people who continue learning and remain curious are the people who will thrive no matter how quickly the world changes around them. Third, be pono. Here in Hawaii, we have a word with deep meaning, pono. It is often translated as righteousness, but it means more than that. It means doing what is right, living with integrity and balance, even when it is difficult. And make no mistake, the hardest decisions in your life will not usually involve technical skills. They will test your character. Early in my career, I faced one of those moments. My boss instructed me to fire an executive. When I asked why, I discovered it had nothing to do with his performance. The executive done excellent work. The real reason was personal. The easy path was obvious. Fire the man, keep my job, move on. But I knew that was not the pono path. So I investigated carefully, confirmed the executive had done nothing wrong, and I returned to my boss with my answer. I cannot fire this man. It isn't right. He was furious. For years afterwards, my raises were frozen. It was not easy, but something important happened. He never again asked me to compromise my integrity. And over time, that decision did not damage my career, it strengthened it. More importantly, I could look at myself honestly every morning knowing I had made the right choice. So here's my advice to you. Draw your line in the sand early. Decide what you stand for, because someday you will face a moment when the easy choice and the right choice are not the same. And in that moment, your decision will not only shape your career, but your character. Finally, purpose. You will hear many people tell you, follow your passion. And passion does matter, but I would encourage you to think more deeply about purpose. Passion is what you love. Purpose is about who you serve. Midway through my career, Hawaii faced a major financial crisis, the Mānoa financial crisis. Several local financial institutions collapsed, and many residents, especially kupuna, our elderly, faced losing their life savings. The state sought help from mainland financial institutions, but everyone declined. The risk was too high. Then I was asked to help lead an effort to stabilize and rebuild the system. I knew the effort could fail, but then I met with the depositors and I listened to their stories. People who had worked their entire lives and now feared losing everything. In that moment, the issue became larger than finance. It became about responsibility, about community, about people depending on one another. So I accepted the challenge. The work took years and required persistence, cooperation, and trust. But eventually, every dollar of those deposits was returned to our kupuna. That experience taught me something I will never forget. When you find your purpose, you will find your strength. So class of 2026, the world will offer you many paths. Some will be safe, some will be prestigious, some will be financially rewarding, but I encourage you to ask a different question. Where are you needed most? Because when you align your talents with the needs of others, work becomes more than a job. Success becomes more than personal achievement, and your life becomes part of something larger than yourself. That's how you build not only a career, but a legacy. So go forward with integrity. Go forward with adaptability. Go forward and be pono. And above all, go forward with purpose. Congratulations, class of 26. We're proud of you.